Welcome to the 1204. I remember over 2 years ago, there was a documentary called Tim Westwood, Abuse of Power. A lot of people who watch that documentary, they see the black women in that documentary as victims. I don't see that. See, because you guys see victims of sexual abuse. But what I see is a bunch of disgruntled prostitutes. Tim Westwood, he was not going around snatching these women up from the streets, holding them against their will. This was nothing but prostitution gone wrong. Because I see these women as prostitutes. I see these black women as prostitutes. Listen, I'm a black man. I have been black for 36 years. I know what black people are like. I know what black women are like. Whether it's black women from the Caribbean or black women from the continent of Africa, whether they were born in the UK, these women, they believe that pussy is currency. They believe using what you have to get what you want. And a lot of this prostitution stuff has been taught to them by their older female relatives. Let's look at the women in this documentary. These women all had something in common. They all wanted to be famous. They all wanted to make it big in the industry. And they saw this man as a gatekeeper for the fame and fortune that they craved. And these black chicks are actually delusional enough to believe that if they bust it wide open for this Oyibo cockazoid, Timothy, then they will achieve the fame and fortune that they crave. So they bust it wide open for the cockazoid. And the cockazoid, Tim Westwood, did not deliver on his side of the deal. So now these women feel like they were raped. Now they feel like they were taken advantage of. And I suppose you could say that they were taken advantage of because Tim Westwood did not hold up his end of the deal. And this is why I call it prostitution gone wrong. I don't see them as victims at all. Because had Tim Westwood delivered his promise, delivered what he promised these whores, none of them would even open up their mouth to even chat about Tim Westwood. They would take that dirty secret to their grave. And Tim Westwood is not the only one. You look at R. Kelly's situation. It was the same thing. Now, the difference with R. Kelly is this. Those girls were underage. Those girls were underage. So those girls could not make that decision to go to R. Kelly's house without running it by their parents. Who? Their mothers, who are also black women. And the mother of these girls had no problem with their underage daughters going to this man's house who makes songs about sex. Now, the mothers knew what was going on, but because they were going to be paid handsomely for it, they turned a blind eye. Because what is it I said earlier on in this video? That is the older female relatives, i.e. the mothers, the aunties, the grandmas, even the mother's mates. They are telling these chicks, use what you have to get what you want. And they had no problem with their daughters going with this man who was older than them. Aaliyah's mother, the same thing. She did not care that her daughter was with an older man. These are the same black women that they will say to their 15-year-old daughters. If their 15-year-old daughters bring home a 15-year-old boy, he is a little boy. What is he going to do for you? Somebody tell me I'm lying. So black women are encouraging their daughters to get with older men because older men can do things for them. I remember that movie Dancehall Queen. Now, even though it was a movie, that was so accurate. When the mother was, dare I say, cajoling her daughter to get with that older gangster. And the daughter said to the mum, but mommy, me have a boyfriend already. Uncle Larry, him too old. And the mum said, we don't have a man in the house. It's you him want. Him not want me. That little boy in your school, he can't do nothing for you. But Uncle Larry can. This is a real thing. And this is what the older female relatives, black female relatives, are telling their younger female black relatives. So this Westwood thing is not a surprise. Listen, I knew a girl that was messing around with Westwood. Real talk. And she herself had a prostitute's mentality. Because no way she will look twice at that cockazoid if she didn't think she could gain from the situation financially. I remember one day, Tim Westwood, in a rage, he cut up all of his credit cards, all of his bank cards. And he said this, he put out a statement, I'm tired of buying black women weaves. I'm tired of paying their rent. I don't see them as victims. I know what black women are like. The black woman will open up her legs if she believes the price is right. Somebody tell me I'm lying. And this is not me trying to horse shame these chicks. Because, hey, anyone that knows me, especially from my previous channel, I love sleeping with whores. I think whores are doing the Lord's work. Hallelujah. Can't get enough of whores. But the whores I see, they know damn well they're whores. And they name their price from the jump. They advertise as whores. But the problem with black women is this. They behave like whores, but they don't want to accept they are whores. So therefore, they are not willing to name their price up front. For an example, I remember, and I've spoken about this a few times, it was on a Shiva Sevens live. It was about, what's the name of that dude that shot Megan Thee Stallion in the leg? Ah, for fuck's sake. Tory Lanez, yes, Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez said that just because I have sex with you, he's talking about women, just because I have sex with you, doesn't mean you should demand money after, or you should demand a gift after, something like that. And then the black women on Shiva Seven's page, they were saying things like, wow, so it's okay for you to have sex with her, but it's not okay for her to ask you for money. Then I came along with my condescending self, and I said to these women, how about the woman just tells the man up front how much money she wants in the beginning? Say to him, listen, before you hit this, I want X amount of dollars or British pounds. And when you've come to the arrangement of how much money you want, then you can sleep with that man, but he should pay you up front. When I said that, a black woman on that page said to me, but that would be prostitution. So why would she do that? And I said, hold on a second here. On one hand, you're saying that a woman should ask a woman should ask a man for money after he's dug her out. But I'm telling you, why don't you ask for the money before he's had sex with you? And you're telling me that's wrong. The reason why her mindset works like that is because they don't see themselves as prostitutes, but they behave like prostitutes. I made a video on my previous channel, Black Women Are Prostitutes in Denial. Because everything about their behavior says prostitute. But yet, they are not willing to flag down cars. They are not willing to advertise their sexual services online. I think it will be better for both parties if these black chicks accepted that they are whores. And if they advertise their services online. Oh, fuck it. Do it the old school way. Flag down cars. Can you imagine that? Shaniqua with a pair of high heels, knee-high boots, flagging down cars in central London. Listen, but let me just say this anyway, yeah? Now, I know Tim Westwood has got a bit frisky in the past. Now, that is completely out of order. You should not be groping any woman's bum. You should keep your hands to yourself, especially this day and age. You don't want to be doing that, Timothy. Keep your hands to yourself, Timothy. Now, I know a lot of black women have some of the best asses on the planet. Yeah, keep your hands to yourself. But as for these women claiming that they're victims of sexual abuse, these women are an absolute disgrace to genuine victims of sexual abuse. And these women, if or when they do turn up to court, they will be disgraced. Because I'm sure Tim Westwood's lawyer is going to have an absolute field day wiping the floor with these whores and exposing them for the whores that they deny they are. The truth of the matter is this. Now look, I'm talking to these so-called victims. Yeah, to these whores. Listen, you were not as talented as you thought you was. When you sent Tim Westwood your mix CD or your CD, and you sent your picture with the CD, now he listened to it. He knew that you weren't as talented. Now, you are one of those people that you looked better than you sounded. So Tim Westwood then used that to his advantage to sleep with you. And you willingly slept with this man because you believed you was going to get XYZ. That's all that happened. And now you want this man to go to jail for what? For what? But everyone can learn from this. A lot of you black chicks, you can learn from this. I advise you black chicks to accept being whores and just name your price from the beginning. Don't talk about how you want to be famous and listen, that pussy's not gonna get you famous, woman. I know Aaliyah did that, but at least Aaliyah had some talent. And that's for the men out there. You guys need to learn from this idiot Timothy Westwood. Don't go making promises to women that you cannot hold up. Because let me tell you something. If you promise a woman XYZ and she sleeps with you because she believes that she is going to get XYZ, if she doesn't get XYZ after you slept with her, she is going to behave like she was a victim of rape. You are asking for absolute trouble if you are promising women stuff that you cannot deliver just to get them into bed. You are asking for absolute trouble. So don't go around making promises that you have no intention of keeping just to get your leg over. And this is why the 1204 advocates for men to sleep with prostitutes, especially men like Tim Westwood. Imagine if Tim Westwood was sleeping with some of the Brazilian escorts, Brazilian prostitutes, Brazilian brasses that I sleep with on a regular basis. First of all, they're much cheaper than a lot of these black chicks. A lot of these black chicks, they are overpricing themselves. And let's be honest, they are not fucking worth the money. Shaniqua, you are not worth it. I fucking pay £200 an hour for the chicks I see it. And that's what I'm trying to say. Listen, all you guys out there, yeah, with your big banks, you guys are multi-millionaires. You guys are giving these chicks like 10 grand a month or something stupid like that. And I'm coming along, sleeping with better looking women for £200 an hour. So anyway, I'm going off topic a little bit. So I'm sleeping with these chicks for £200 an hour. I don't need to pay their rent. I don't need to buy them weaves. Now, maybe I am doing that by proxy. But I'm not actually paying for all of that stuff directly, if you know what I mean. So I just go there, I have my sex, and I go about my business. Tim Westwood should be doing that rather than making promises he couldn't keep.